What's going on? How are y'all doing, by the way? I'm good. So let's get into it. So y'all have the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and then you also have the Two of Pentacles. I am still using the Mermaid Tarot before I shift to something else. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here for you is that y'all are in a position where the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles here speaks to how y'all very much so. I am going to get some new cards, by the way. Just like I said before, there's still a lot of wildness going on over here. Still a lot more things that I actually have to take care of, which I am addressing those situations. So just please bear with me. I know I don't come up with a new deck of cards every week, but I'm not really one to come up with just have like a whole storage full of tarot cards. I just want a couple because I don't really like a lot of tarot decks anyway. I find myself having a hard time actually being able to bond with my deck of cards anyway, right? So the point that I'm trying to make here or I should say with you, is a lot of you feel like a lot of people are not really ready to reciprocate or to actually give anything back in a relationship. A lot of you feel like there's a lot of gimme, 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 but there's not a whole lot of actual get, even though there's a whole lot of gimme, gimme, gimme. And so the situation with that is that this is more so about how y'all are in a position where because of there's so much gimme, 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 what it is that you can end up doing is that people expect you to give, and in your giving, right, they are parasites, they are parasitic. All it is that they want you to do is to end up giving, and your value is clear because you actually have all of this stuff to be able to give. But then at the same time, what about them giving back? Here comes the mental gymnastics. Here comes the excuses. Oh, they can't do this. They can't do that. They won't do this. They won't do that. And so because of that, right, the Page of Swords and the Queen of Wands right here represent a lot of you just understand how deep it goes where, when you don't get anything back and you're the only one that's giving in a relationship, a supposed relationship, it feels like it feels like garbage. You know what I'm saying? It obviously it doesn't feel good because it's like, why is it that only one person is giving and that person happens to be you? Now there's two people, but only one person is giving. But what about the other person? The other person is taking, and they don't even take into consideration with all the taking that they're doing. They don't take into consideration, hey, maybe I ought to give value back to this person, considering the fact that this person is being more than gracious with me and literally giving me what it is that I want. I should be way more gracious than what I actually am right now, and actually really be grateful of where I am and what I'm able to receive. And so the Queen of Wands represents the Page of Swords and the Queen of Wands. You see the stupidity in that. You see the dysfunction. You see it about, people talk so much about how, relationships in reality are not supposed to be 50-50, but it's very odd that so many people who are in favor of non-50-50 relationships are the ones always talking about from a receiving standpoint. Like, yeah, of course you don't want it to be 50-50 because you're the parasite. Of course you don't want it to be 50-50 because you're the one that's getting the stuff. You're the one that's actually receiving all of it, or almost all of it, or the lion's share of it, while the other person who correct me if I'm wrong here, is doing the majority of the giving is actually getting less in return. Like, you don't even, like, you got to understand, like, you don't even have that kind of inequality even in the stock market. Like, if you put, like, from what I'm not telling anybody what to do, but like, if I put my cash flow into S&P 500, I'm getting capital appreciation on top of dividends. So not only am I getting capital appreciation from one hand, on the other hand, I'm getting dividends that it's giving me. So I'm getting both for the cash that I'm putting in on top of that. And I'm literally watching my money grow as time go on, right? So for a person who is talking about investing and invest, you got to invest in me. What is the actual takeaway? Because at the end of the year, the majority of the time, the S&P 500 goes up. The lion's share of the time, the S&P 500 goes up. So you're getting capital appreciation, meaning that whatever amount of money you put on top of it, you're seeing money that's added back on top of the cash on the other side. But then you're also getting dividends automatically reimbursed into it, or not. But it's best to reimburse the dividends, what I found. And then on top of that, it just adds even more to the money, which then gives it a bigger cash flow when it gives me a dividend. So I'm receiving money on both ends. So it's like, this person wanting all of this stuff, my dears, what exactly are you getting for as a return, right? And you must have a return, considering the fact that you're in the trenches with this person. You're in a whole relationship with this person. You're standing right next to this person. You're their companion. You're in a whole relationship with them. What are you getting out of it? They're just expecting you to just be okay with the fact that you're not getting anything, or you feel like you're losing your investment. You're losing your time that you spent. This person is difficult to deal with. You're expected to do all of this stuff, and this person is hard-headed. They don't want to listen to you. They think they know everything. Egocentric. They constantly wishy-washy about what they want to give you, what they don't want to give you. You don't have all them problems in the stock market. I just put my cash into the S&P 500. Turn the dividend reinvestment tab on. That's it. If I want to keep putting money in, I can keep doing that if I want to. If I don't want to keep putting money in, but it gives me dividends for a lifetime. Right? Like, I don't have to deal with the extras that come with it. And so a lot of you are asking questions like, yeah, like, what are you getting out of it? You're actually really starting to realize, like, all this value that y'all putting in, what are y'all actually getting out of it? And so now, the Emperor and the Five of Pentacles, now you are becoming way more than just a person that used to just give. Because a lot of you, we have the Emperor and the Five of Pentacles. You're realizing now that, like, wow, I'm not really getting a whole lot back. And it's not transactional, but what makes it transactional to a certain extent is the mess that you get. Like, okay, like, if you're gonna be in a relationship with this person, little to no mess. You're getting all the mess, and at the same time bringing in the lion's share of the value. So wait a minute. So the person is bringing in lesser value than you usually, and then they're the ones that's given most of the mess in the relationship. But then you're the one that while you're getting less value, but bringing in the vast majority of the value in the relationship. Does that even sound fair? With all of this comments about, oh, 50-50 is not good. But they prove my point. They literally prove my point as to why 50-50 is the only relationship dynamic that works. Because it's the only relationship dynamic that's not parasitic. I was on TikTok the other day talking to people about the whole 50-50 thing, and none of them had anything for me. Not a single one. So I had 3 individuals upset, And I went toe to toe with them. I said, you got to understand that even from a textbook, when you study it, a person who enters into a relationship where one person is doing the majority of the relationship, even on a definition, cold, hard facts, that is considered a parasocial, parasitic relationship. Healthy relationships is not based upon one person doing the lion's share. Would you want your friend to do the lion do you would you want to do most of the work when it came to you and a person being friends? You call them, you text them, they never call, they never text you, they never reach out, they never ask you to see if you're okay, they never. So why would a person think that that's plausible, or that type of behavior is even okay when it comes to being in a union that's even more sacred, even closer together than being friends? And yet people don't actually think about this, but now y'all are, and you're seeing why it's no good. Because the Empress, now you've been elevated to Empress status, meaning now y'all are gonna ask for things. Y'all are gonna actually ask for things. Y'all are gonna understand how lame it is to actually do the majority of the work and you get so little back. I'm giving y'all the game. I'm within the past few years, let me tell y'all, for within the past few years, I haven't had to pay for dates. And I still get a chance to hang out with whom I want to hang out with, who want to hang out with me. Now, of course, obviously, they don't have to hang out with me if they don't want to. But I'm still getting opportunities to hang out with individuals whom I want to hang out with. Just from telling them straight up, look, I'm not going to spend cash. I'm not going to spend any kind of money on you right now. Why? Because I don't know you. I will in the future. But I tell them from the jump, but you got to chip in as well. I'm basically introducing them into the 50-50 thing. They don't object. They do not object. And not only do they not object, I end up hanging out with them, getting to know them better, right? Which is what I wanted. And then on top of that, I end up having to spend no money. I'm telling y'all the game. Don't ever let somebody peer pressure y'all into thinking that non-50-50 relationships is how things work. No, this internet goofy talk is how, anytime, let me explain something to y'all. I'm telling y'all the game. Anytime you hear anybody on the internet specifically talking about how non-50-50 is not going to work, let me look right at the camera. They're lying to you. Because I'm a living example of the fact that it does work. And I'm telling you that it works. And 50-50, and I used to not be on that 50-50 thing. You know what it is that my mother pulled me off to the side and said? My own mother pulled me off to the side and said, not the non-50-50. I used to be on that non-50-50. You know what my mom pulled me off to the side and said? My mom pulled me off to the side herself when I was a teenager and said, you need to be going 50-50. My mom's in her 70s right now. You understand what I'm saying? You need to be going 50-50, because if you don't, they're going to have you like a ring around their finger. And so because of that, the fact that y'all are thinking about it, y'all are understanding how rank that is, how not good that is for y'all and your own benefit, because now the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles represents for y'all how. So now you're changing your mind about love, about the fact that you're right. It does make more sense for both people to actually chip into a relationship in which they are supposed to be active participants in and proactive participants in. Otherwise, what would be the point of being in a relationship with them if they're literally telling you to their face, oh, I'm just here to just take? What are you going to do? Nothing. But I'm here to take. What are you going to give me? And you just, okay, here. Duh. Anytime I hear somebody on the internet talking about non-50-50, I already know. And they sound, I already know. And then not only that, but they sound, every single time, non-50-50, or every single time, 50-50 is not going to work. But then every single time, it's also coupled up with why it's not going to work. Oh, non-50-50 ain't going to work because such and such and such and such. My brother makes 6 figures and he goes 50-50 with his wife, and they're successful for about 10 plus years now. What are you talking about? Cardi B and Offset went 50-50. Oh, they're not together, but they're still in business together. They still have houses together. They still run a joint business together until those assets are split, okay? But they've bought houses together. What are you talking about? Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the dollar. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Wu-Tang, that's one of my favorite songs. Wu-Tang. Let's clarify the 9 of Pentacles. Let's clarify the 9 of Pentacles and get out of here. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Woo! Anyway, let's get out of here. To clarify the 9 of Pentacles, I got the 9 of Swords. I have the 3 of Swords. Oh, the Tower. I got to listen to this. The Judgment. And then you have the Strength card to clarify the 9 of Pentacles. To clarify this, these 3 cards right here for you represent how y'all are in a position where you feel, some of you may feel stupid because of how much time you felt like you've been played, or you tried to do this non-50-50 thing and how it didn't work. But don't worry about it, because the Judgment and the Strength card represents your knowledge is making you anew. And then not only that too, but people don't understand, we're all going to 50-50. We don't have a choice. We're all going to 50-50. People make it seem like, well, we don't know. We're all going to 50-50. Because even, and I'll tell you why, to prove my point even further, because even the people who are rich are like, I don't want some lazy individual running around the house. Like, rich people have if rich people have spouses, their spouses run a business. It may not be to the degree that they do, but you'll see their spouses have like a bakery or an art gallery. That's pulling in money. That's, let me just say what it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's pulling in money. They're getting paid for that. Their art gallery is having money put into it. They're earning cash flow. They're not just, even if they have a rich spouse, they're not just, again, their spouse is fronting them the money to start their own business so that they can actually make their own cash and contribute to the household. Don't believe me? Okay. Okay. Let me just ask me in the comment section if you want me to give you some real life examples. I'll post up some real life examples. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Y'all are learning, and y'all are learning very quickly. Shout outs to y'all. Trying to get the YouTube channel 200K. I'm at 24,900 and change. Smash the subscribe button, like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. Come through and get a personal reading or any of my books or Kareemspiritworks clothing. The link to all of that is in the comment section below. Peace.